receiver here. The Michael Irvin is going to get the majority of balls. When they come his way, you got to catch him. But I think he's the best addition the Cowboys had this past offseason.
All right, and the scrimmage action about to begin. Each offense will run 12 plays. Each first-team offense will run 12 plays. They get the 10 yards. They continue to advance down the field. They don't. They'll go back to the 35-yard line, and Stan Humphries lines up his Chargers on a play fake on first down and completes a pass on first down for first down yardage. Humphries to Carwell Gardner, the newly acquired fullback. There's Humphries, who battled injuries last year, missed 3 games with a shoulder problem and concussion. But he's been a winner, babe, in his career. 47-26 as a starter, .645 percentage there, third winningest quarterback percentage-wise in the NFL right now.
He has been, and the Chargers picked him up for, I believe, a 4th-round draft pick from the Washington Redskins, so the Redskins discarded him. Bobby Beathard was a GM in Washington, brought him out to San Diego when he went there.
Gary Brown, the former Oiler, gets the handoff there and gets it into Cowboys territory. Dallas first-team defense on the field, and Fred Strickland, who led the team in tackles last year, makes the stop there. Interesting to see this first-team defensive unit in action. We mentioned on the pregame show some of the holes that they have to fill. Strickland, though, has been a solid acquisition. Fred Strickland now in his 10th year out of Purdue. Got a second down play and about 6 to go for the Chargers. Again, 12 plays for each offense. Humphries with Brown, the single setback. And Gary Brown on the handoff, and Alan Campos competing for the starting spot in the weak side linebacker position. Campos makes the stop, babe.
Alan Campos, he's a guy who came in here last year. He's put on about 15 pounds. I think most of it up top in that hair. But I don't think he's cut it since he came to camp. But he's a guy that's kind of picked up the system slowly. But he is a guy that's going to be competing with Dexter Coakley on that weak side for replacing Darren Smith.
Cowboys, again, the first-team defense is Pittman and Casillas and Hennings and Shante Carver right now along that front line. There's Humphries, the ball batted at the line of scrimmage, nearly intercepted by Tony Casillas, but he'll say because of the wet football he couldn't hang on to it.
And Tony Casillas was almost going to be wrong way Jim Marshall for a minute, though, because if he had caught it, I'm not so sure he would have had the presence of mind to turn about and head the other way.
Let's see who batted it down at the line of scrimmage. Humphries. Chad Hennings got his left hand on it, babe.
Yeah, and you know, the pass rush now has really become, I mean, defensive ends used to be your big pass rushers. It's now almost coming from the inside because so many teams, Mike, are going to that 3-step and 5-step drop and get the ball off quickly. Sometimes your defensive ends don't have time to get there, but you tackle, if he can get a push up there like Chad Hennings did and just get a hand up, you know, it's pretty hard for a quarterback to throw over a 6'5" defender who has his hands up there at about 9 feet.
Chargers failed to get the first down, so they move it back to their own 35. Humphries again with Brown, his only running back. Gary Brown, who had 1,000 yards for the Oilers a few years ago, gets nothing there, as Strickland again and Chad Hennings are in on the defense for the Cowboys.
Gary Brown is a guy that almost ate himself right out of this league. He popped up to about 260 last year, was released, didn't play football at all last year, but he's down to about 200 actually, and 19 pounds they say. We see 228, but talking to the Chargers personnel people before, they love him right now. He's at 219, and he's a heck of a good player, but not a very good player at 260 pounds.
They gave him a yard, 2nd and 9. Brown, of course, played under Kevin Gilbride, who was the offensive coordinator in Houston. Movement along the line, and flags fly. It's the Cowboy first-team defense held the Chargers without a first down on their first attempt, so it's been moved back now to the San Diego 35 or 36-yard line.
We see Tony Casillas there. Now that's an interesting story because just to show you what they're looking for at that defensive tackle position, Cowboys brought in Tony Casillas last year just hoping to get 15 or 20 snaps a game from him to spot the starters. Now Tony Casillas is your starter, and he's a year older.
Dave Campo, as we mentioned extensively in the pregame, again has his work cut out for him. Defensive line with Leon Lett gone for most of the season. Linebackers, Campo's done it before, and he's gotten the job done. The third-ranked defense in the NFL last year. Penalty was against San Diego. 2nd down at about 14. Humphries throws it and completes it at the 36-yard line to Brian Roach, the tight end, on the completion. We should mention that the quarterbacks are off limits here in the scrimmage, obviously, babe. They've got the red jerseys on. Humphreys, if it seemed like he had a lot of time, he cannot be tackled.
But they can blow the whistle dead. But we take a look at Randall Godfrey coming off the field here. But I think, Mike, he is going to be a heck of a linebacker for this football team. His most natural position is probably in the middle. But in order to get your three best linebackers on there, that means Fred Strickland's in the middle. Randall Godfrey will play the strong side.
Here's a third down play and about 8 to go. Humphreys takes it out of the shotgun and throws it incomplete. Darren Woodson on the coverage against Brown over there on about the 40-yard line. The Pro Bowler, Darren Woodson, comes back to help anchor that Cowboys secondary now in his 6th year out of Arizona State.
I think he's really become a leader of this defensive football team, Mike. He's a guy, obviously the ability shows itself. Pro Bowl last 3 years, All-Pro. Probably could play corner. I always contend that Darren Woodson could lose 10, 15 pounds and go out and play corner. He's that gifted an athlete, but it gives you a heck of a great opportunity when you can get a safety that can cover like he does. You keep him in on nickel, and he's an every down player.
So the Chargers about midway through the 8th play, in fact, of this drive, as the first-team offense will keep it for 12 plays. There's Brown, again, finding very little room as he tries to squirt his way up the middle. Brock Marion credited for the stop for the Dallas Cowboys. Brown, as Babe said, lost a bunch of weight, now trying to get back into the NFL after sitting out a year. Brock Marion, interesting story for the Cowboys. He thought he had signed basically with Baltimore in the offseason, but instead is back with the Cowboys as that deal fell through, and I think he feels like he's got something to prove this year. 9th play of 12 for the Chargers. First-team offense for San Diego, first-team defense for Dallas. Alfred Pupunu makes the grab, the tight end. Here's Darren Benson, another one of those defensive stories.
Let's take a look at his pass rush from the inside. We talked about getting here he comes with an underarm move up inside, gets the hand up. Now you just got to hope your hand is where the ball is, and it wasn't at that time. But if you can keep that pass rush going like that, you're going to knock down your share of footballs.
Darren Benson, young man out of junior college program, had the serious knee injury. Wasn't sure if he wanted to continue playing football, but here he is.
Remember, too, Mike, this is his 3rd year, but he's only 22 years old.
Here's Brown again. Kevin Smith, Darren Woodson make the stop short of the 50-yard line. We'll take another look, babe.
Chargers are just coming straight ahead. They're trying to get into a little bit of a power game, but also Kevin Gilbride likes to throw the football. Gilbride was the coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars the past 2 years and developed Mark Brunell out there. And he's hoping to do the same with this Charger offense that finished 29th last year in rushing. He's got to get a running game going, and they're hoping Gary Brown and Eric Pegram, who is not going to play tonight with an injury, but they're hoping those two guys can foot the bill for him.
Chargers did get a first down. Now the 11th play of this 12-play series. Brock Marion on the coverage there on the incompletion against Brian Roach. And this should be bring up the 12th and final play of the drive for the Chargers first-team offense. There's Marion, who we spoke of earlier.
Man, I think this is what makes the Cowboys secondary so good, Mike. You've got 2 safeties who can both cover receivers coming downfield. In this case, it's a tight end for Brock Marion and Darren Woodson. 2 guys that can go up, lock in on man coverage, which then allows you to blitz some people underneath.
Again, about 40,000 here at the Sun Bowl for a scrimmage. Cowboys and Chargers, the first-team offense for San Diego, first-team defense for Dallas. Gary Brown on the delay just does get it into Cowboys territory for a game of about 4. And we will see the Dallas Cowboys offense for the first time tonight in this scrimmage. It's the first-team defense for Dallas. Pretty respectable as they allow the first down. San Diego not showing a whole lot.
Well, one thing the Chargers are looking for is offensive lineman, Mike. They picked up Raleigh McKenzie from Philadelphia in free agency. He has more experience than the other 4 starters combined. He'll play center. Chargers released Courtney Hall this past offseason. They pick up Raleigh McKenzie, 13 years in the league. The rest of the offensive linemen combined don't match up to his experience. So Chargers are going to have some trouble for themselves this season, like they did last, in terms of keeping Stan Humphries healthy.
This is what the folks here have been waiting for, a chance to look at the Dallas first-team offense. Controlled scrimmage situation, but still, Troy Aikman will get a chance to fire up this offense in front of a crowd of about 40,000 against the first-team San Diego defense. Irvin splits to the right, Billy Davis to the left. Darrell Johnston, the fullback, and Herschel Walker is the tailback. Aikman to throw on first down. Complete to Herschel. At the 41, a gain of about 7. Kurt Govea made the stop.
I think this is why Troy Aikman is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right here. He's actually looking downfield for Michael Irvin. The Chargers take it away. What do? You just dump it down. You take what they give you, as they say. Herschel Walker picks up a nice gain of about 6 yards on the play, and now you got 2nd and 4, and it's really something you can work with. But Aikman is so good at not forcing the football down the field.
Aikman, a career 62, nearly 63% passer, holds 39 Dallas Cowboys records. Second down play, he's firing away again, and it's dropped by Irvin at the Chargers' 40-yard line.
That is one you don't see too often. I don't know if we've seen it at all through a week of training camp. And Michael Irvin must have caught about 200 balls down there, but we see it tonight. Aikman just comes back on the 5-step drop, throws the quick post up top. Ball's in a good position. Michael Irvin just drops the football. And to a receiver coming out, you might say, well, that ball's a little bit low. Your receiver in that position likes it because the safety's coming over ready to take your head off. Kind of gives you a head start on curling up over the football and getting down on the ground.
So here's the third play of the drive for the Cowboys. The Dallas offense will run 12 plays. So you get a look at Aikman with Herschel behind him. Straight back, Troy throwing again, completing again at the 47-yard line. Catch is made by Eric Bjornsson. We've discussed extensively the tight end situation for the Dallas Cowboys. Bjornsson struggled so much with the ankle problems last year. He's as healthy as he's been in a long, long time. As you said, lost some weight and appears ready to really make a contribution here.
Well, when he was healthy, though, Mike, I thought he had an outstanding season. You kind of remember him for those last 5 or 6 games when he was hobbled around. But you look at it, he missed the Chicago game, the opener, because of a hamstring injury. Comes back in the next 10 games, he caught 45 balls. If you want to project that over a season, that's 72 catches. And that gets you into the Pro Bowl. But he did. He had the trouble late, caught 3 balls, I think, in about the last 6 games. Missed a couple of games because he couldn't get on the field. And he says now maybe he would have been smarter to sit off a couple games and rest it.
Cowboys have a first down at their own 46 and some movement on the right side of the San Diego defensive line. Left side of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line.
I do think, though, we heard Barry Switzer earlier talking about it. If David LaFleur will make Eric Bjornsson a better tight end, because now Bjornsson isn't going to be having to do all the blocking drills that he had done in the past. And that's why he bulked up last year. He wanted to be able to contend with some of the big defensive ends that you have to block in run blocking. Now David LaFleur will probably be that guy, and Bjornsson can kind of be that H-back and a little bit of a move guy in that third down receiver.
Jay Novacek had a chance to work with the tight ends this past week in camp. Bjornsson among them. Novacek, who recently announced his retirement, spending some time in Austin. Penalty was against San Diego, and there's Darrell Johnston on the first down carry. The Moose re-signed with the Cowboys in the offseason, lumbers ahead for about a yard.
I think he was the one guy, Mike, that the Cowboys had pinpointed this past offseason in terms of who they wanted to keep. They got him signed up to a long-term deal, and he's been extremely durable. Never missed a game, as a matter of fact, as a Dallas Cowboy, and that's remarkable considering the position that he plays in the offense and the punishment that he takes week after week.
There's Emmett. It's like last year. Oh, yeah, getting the best view he can from the sideline. Second down, about 9 to go now for the Cowboys. Deep drop for Aikman. Comes to the right sideline. It's caught by Michael Irvin. First down, Cowboys. Rodney Harrison on the coverage. Irvin beat him to the sideline. And that is what they came for here in El Paso. Number 8 to number 88.
And that looks a little bit more like what we've been seeing over about the last 7 or 8 years here. Irvin just runs the corner pattern from that slot position. It's good coverage. I mean, if you're a defensive backfield coach and you've got Terrence Shaw coming back in, what do you tell him? You just say, hey, if that guy runs that kind of route and that quarterback makes that throw, there's nothing we can do about it. And that's what happened there.
22-yard gain for Aikman and Irvin. Cowboys first down at the 31. Here's Herschel Walker, managing to find some room. Comes up with about 2 yards. It'll be second down and 8 for the Cowboys. Greg Jackson, along with Rodney Harrison on the stop for San Diego. We talked about Herschel earlier, getting set to start his 12th year out of Georgia. 4th on the all-time list, combined rushing and receiving yards, all-purpose yards, I should say.
Of course, then you got to throw in a couple of USFL years as well. Matter of fact, rushed for over 2,000 yards with the New Jersey Generals.
It brings up the fact that somebody brought this up to me. If it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame, is there any question that Herschel Walker gets in? On the basis of that run, he will not, as he stopped cold. John Perella, number 97, came up and made the nice play for the Chargers, as you get another good look at Herschel, because technically it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame overall, right, Babe?
Well,
not just the NFL Hall of Fame?
That is the argument. That is the argument. But then, too, if you want to extend that further, do you go to Canada?
Here's Nate Newton as you take a look at him. He struggled with some relatively minor injuries in camp, had a bruised sternum, had a cut or a contusion on his shoulder. I was a little surprised to see him in action, frankly, Babe, but we'll get an update on an injury if there is one. Aikman intended for Step Fret Williams over the middle there. Play made by Dwayne Harper. And Nate tries to run it off on the sideline. Let's take another look at this Aikman to Williams attempt.
This is where Stepford has to win. He's in the slot just to the left of the screen. Inside he comes. He's got to be a little bit more physical in that situation. The defensive back was more physical than Stepford Williams was. You can get into that guy in that area, put your shoulder into him, and then break away. You can't use your hands, but right there, Stepford Williams let the defender dictate the action to him, and you can't do that.
Well, inside the opposing 30, the Cowboys will take a shot at it at 4th down and about 8 to keep advancing ahead here as they go into the 9th play of this 12-play drive for the first-team Dallas offense. Aikman is thrown on much of the drive. Goes to the sideline for Billy Davis, incomplete, but a flag is thrown. The El Paso crowd loves it, as the favorite son of El Paso may have drawn a penalty there by Mr. Rodney Harrison.
That's what I love about these type of games, Mike. 4th and 8. Barry Switzer goes for it. Nobody even thinks twice.
He should enjoy that luxury while he's got it,
exactly.
Right?
Aikman just comes back on the comeback route out there to Billy Davis. It was a little bit close out there. He does have his hand on his back, but I think Billy Davis was, I guess that is a hometown call, since Billy Davis is from El Paso.
That was Terrence Shaw on the coverage. Terrence Shaw on the coverage, and there's Billy Davis, who we talked about earlier, former high school quarterback here in the city of El Paso. So with the penalty, the Cowboys at the San Diego 20 on the 10th play of the drive. First down. Moose in motion. Aikman to throw and finds his fullback inside the 15. Driven out of bounds at the 14-yard line by Harrison. Darrell Johnston was bothered by a case of the flu a couple of days ago. A guy who's never missed an actual football game had to miss a couple of days of practice. It probably drove him crazy.
A little flu, a little dehydration, and he probably didn't mind too much, though.
There's another look at the play.
You know, Darrell Johnston this year also will, if he stays relatively healthy, he's only 10 behind Billy Joe Dupree. He'll move into 10th place on the Cowboys' all-time receiving list, and I don't think a lot of people would suspect that.
From the 14, Aikman lines him up for a second down, and flags fly as he's moving along the line of scrimmage. Cowboys welcome the Raiders into Austin next week, as we said, so not only they get a look at the Chargers tonight, but the silver and black comes into Austin next week, and there is one of the best around, Babe.
Oh, he's outstanding. He probably is the best linebacker in the NFL because I think he's the most versatile. He could rush the passer, he can cover, he plays the run. Matter of fact, he was one of Bobby Beathard's first draft picks when Beathard took over in San Diego, and I'd say it was a pretty good one.
Junior Seau has made 6 straight Pro Bowls. The cheerleaders are thankful that the weather has dried up just a bit. Had some heavy rain earlier.
One thing I like also, Mike, getting back to Junior Seau, a lot of guys may not like being out there. He probably loves it right now. He's a guy that just loves to play the game.
Cowboys continue to work in this drive from the 10-yard line. Herschel Walker spinning inside the 5 and down to about the 3. Harrison again finishes the play. Also went on the tackle. 42, Greg Jackson. Herschel Walker getting his share of the work tonight here in El Paso.
This is an area, too, where the Cowboys have been concentrating on. Obviously, well documented last year, the problems they had inside the 20. They were great at field goals. They weren't real good at touchdowns. They've really been working on it throughout camp this year, working on the package inside because it changes. You have a whole different set of plays that you run once you get inside the 20, and I'm sure they want to get a little something going here to put on the board.
Cowboy defense held the Chargers to 1 first down in a 12-play drive. Cowboy offense taking a few more than the 12 plays, but they want to give the folks in El Paso a touchdown. Irvin, the receiver, left as Troy goes back to throw. Now looking for Michael, now in trouble, and throws it away. Again, the quarterback cannot be tackled in this controlled scrimmage. Aikman had nowhere to go.
He did have David LaFleur, Mike, in the very left corner of the end zone after the play broke down. He had him wide open, but it's sometimes hard to find him there. He comes in to dump it off, but if you look at the very top of your screen, where we don't see him, but he's just out of your picture, there was no one around David LaFleur. Much easier to see from the press box, I might add, though, in a collapsing pocket.
Nobody should know that better than you. You've seen it from both perspectives. Third down and goal for the Cowboys from the San Diego 3-yard line. Billy Davis now the receiver, left. Here's Herschel going to the left side, close to the goal line. I don't see an indication yet, as he may have been stopped just short. Let's look again at the work up front of the Cowboys offensive line. Shiver, the center on this series, as Herschel tries to find some room on the left side. Might have had more room than he thought he had there, Bay.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. It looked like if he hugged off to the left side a little bit further than cutting it back up inside and just got his shoulders across, probably scores there.
Well, this qualifies as high drama here in this scrimmage in El Paso. 4th and goal. Last chance for the Cowboys on this series anyway. Aikman with Moose and Herschel behind him, and Herschel Walker steps into the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas. Herschel working hard. His jersey tore in the back.
It has been the Herschel Walker show so far tonight.
And as we said, the folks here at the Sun Bowl, about 40,000 strong, appreciate the effort of Herschel Walker.
And Herschel likes being in that tailback spot rather than fullback, and it's Daryl Johnston leading him up into the hole. It's the old walk the dog here. Herschel doesn't get touched. Let's take another look from a lower angle here. The funny thing is, Herschel, when he first gets the ball, he's looking for somebody that is going to come up and hit him. And sometimes it takes you a minute to realize you don't have anybody there.
So the Cowboys get on the board in this scrimmage. We'll come back with more action from the Sun Bowl in El Paso in a moment.
Feel the power of Dallas Cowboys football. Time is running out, so don't miss your chance for the best seats at Texas Stadium by purchasing a special teams package. Each preseason ticket allows you to buy an equal number of regular season tickets. You'll also have first chance at playoff tickets before they go on sale to the general public. So lock into the future of America's team and feel the power of Dallas Cowboys football. For more information, call Ticketmaster at 214-373-8000 today.
Mind if I ask you something?
No, go ahead.
Say you've got some horrible emergency like a broken leg, but you're in Tampa. Who would you call?
Oh, no.
Okay, how about Columbia? They are the largest healthcare provider in the nation.
Really?
Pretty much wherever you go, they'll take care of you.
I didn't know that.
So say you are pregnant in Denver. Who are you going to call?
6 o'clock news.
Columbia Healthcare North Texas. Here for the Cowboys. Here for your community.
Newborn calf, precariously standing, tender loving care. Veal. Thank you. Much obliged.
Welcome back to the Sun Bowl. Best seat in the house right there.
Cheapest.
Yes. On the mountain just outside the Sun Bowl in El Paso, where the Cowboys' first-team offense has just scored against the Chargers' first-team defense in this scrimmage. Nate Newton, some concern about him, Gerard Moncure.
Well, Mike, as you can see from my right shoulder right now, trainer Jim Maurer told me that Nate had been fighting a slight shoulder injury, and what happened, Mike, was he got his arm jammed up into that shoulder. Maurer told me it's not serious. Nate's done for the evening, but he wouldn't have played anymore tonight anyway. But he's okay, but Nate Newton's done for the night, Mike.
And no one's happier than Nate Newton.
I must admit I was surprised to see Nate get ready to go on the bus and later the airplane to El Paso today, but wanted to come here, get some work in, and banged up just a little bit, but as Gerard said, it'll be okay. Jim Everett is in now, leading the second-team offense for the Chargers in this scrimmage situation. Terrell Fletcher gets the handoff, and we'll spotlight some of these Cowboys defenders trying to win spots or jockey themselves for better position. There's Vincent Smith, the newly acquired linebacker who made that play. Vincent, who spent 4 years in Chicago after spending 3 seasons with the Cowboys. Vincent back to provide some depth, possibly behind Randall Godfrey on the strong side, and depending on how things work out with Coakley and Campos on the weak side. But Vincent Smith, a 10-year veteran out of East Carolina. A third down play for Everett in the San Diego offense. Metcalf in motion. We'll talk about him a bit more later as well. That's incomplete. The pass intended for the tight end, Frank Hartley. You see Dexter Coakley talking with his defensive coordinator, Dave Campo, and now you see Nate Newton, who is finished for the night.
He's finished for the night, but want to wish Nate and his wife, Dorothy, congratulations. They had a baby boy about a week ago now, Nate King Newton, I believe 10+ pounds, and I guess you wouldn't expect anything other than that.
You're right.
But congratulations to Dorothy and Nate.
Indeed. Nate
even got him to miss a couple days of camp, or 1 day anyway. I think Nate was pulling, excuse me, Mike, for about a 2-week labor for Dorothy. So he wouldn't have to report until the baby was actually delivered.
Did you keep it going during the entire preseason, honey? Yes, thankfully for Mrs. Newton, that was not the case. Okay.
Spoken from a man's perspective, right?
Yeah. Apparently some confusion on the field again. If the Chargers did not pick up first down yardage on the 3 downs, it would have gone back to the 35. They're advancing it down the field. Let's take a look at this, if we could. This reminder for you. Dallas Cowboys tickets, special teams package, available for you. All you have to do is call Ticketmaster at 214-373-8000. 214-373-8000.
Cowboys also, we're talking about the schedule here, Mike. Cowboys, as of now, have the toughest schedule of any team in the NFL. Go to Green Bay, go to San Francisco, Carolina at home. They have Jacksonville. Actually, they'll play all 4 teams that were in the AFC and NFC championship game last year. So certainly the schedule makers were not kind to them.
Well, the Cowboy offense takes over now. And second-team quarterback Wade Wilson working with Jarvis Perry, a running back who we're familiar with from the preseason last year. he'll see a lot of work from here on out, most likely, as the first team Dallas offense came in and scored a touchdown. Herschel Walker culminating the drive with the short TD run. You can see LaFleur, you can see Macy Brooks as well. Anxious to see him in action here against the Chargers. And Jarvis Perry, who could not catch on with this team last year, but at 6 feet 205, pretty tough little runner.
He's just in one of those spots, Mike, where I think it doesn't matter what he does. There's just not a spot on the football team for him. The running back position is set.
Here's a second down. Wade Wilson back to throw. And there's Macy Brooks with the completion at the 22-yard line. Brooks, the rookie out of James Madison, makes the play. Mark Montreuil makes the stop.
Macy Brooks comes out, runs that comeback pattern that you see the Cowboys throw so much. Wade Wilson, nice job just getting the ball outside, putting it on the upfield shoulder. Macy Brooks gets that 6'5" frame in front of him. Let's take a look at him isolated here. Comes off the line nicely. Not the fastest guy in the world. Tall receivers, you see him have a little trouble getting out of the break. And if you're a tall receiver, sometimes that'll happen to you. The shorter receivers are better in and out of the breaks, but once you do come around, it's awfully hard for a defender to get through a man that's 6'5" and 220 pounds.
First down for Dallas. There's Jarvis Perry again with the run left side, and not much doing there. John Flannery is at the center spot for the Cowboys now. He and Shiver battle for that starting position. You see Pat Kessie, a rookie free agent, 68, along the front line, trying to make some noise as well. Flannery, serious knee problems. Started with Houston a couple of years ago for their team, but is happy just to be in anybody's camp right now, given his health.
Yeah, he was a second-round draft pick of the Houston Oilers in 1991. Tore up his knee in 93, had to have it reoperated on in 95. Houston basically didn't want to keep him last year. Cowboys picked him up and kind of rehabbed it for him.
Second down play, and Jarvis Perry, again, not finding much room as he runs to the right side. And Torrin James, a 7th-round draft pick this year for the Chargers, makes the play. Cowboys coach Barry Switzer, beginning his 4th year. It's been well chronicled. We talked about it earlier, the fact that some, including Emmitt Smith, other Cowboys regulars, saying that it's a more assertive Switzer this year, and it certainly is, from the judging on the first week, a different type of Cowboys camp run by Barry Switzer this year. Third down play for the Cowboys. Wilson to throw. There's Stepfret Williams to the 37-yard line. Williams with first down yardage for the Cowboys. Let's take another look. Stepfret Williams again trying to earn time in that slot receiver position.
And he's in that slot just to the right of our screen here, Mike. He's coming out running the corner pattern. Does a nice job. San Diego does a board job in coverage. Billy Davis just runs off the outside corner. Nobody picks up Stepfret Williams from the slot.
So the Cowboy first-teamers scored a touchdown. Second team trying to do the same. They're at the 37, working against Charger reserve defenders. Wilson on the play fake. There's the rookie David LaFleur, the tight end, with his first reception at the 45. We'll come back and talk about LaFleur and more when we continue from the Sun Bowl in El Paso.
Something that you never expect. She done training in the docks the kicker.
There you go. Okay.
Well, her hair's grown out and it's piled up high. She only shows the tattoos one at a time.
We're adding to the addition, is what we're doing. Do we really need a sunroom?
Well, I don't know if we need the sunroom, but I sure like the sunroom.
I think it's probably a nice idea.
Just one extra room.
9 bridesmaids.
9. Okay, fine.
And that means 9 and 10.
I want a live band. Candelabras.
And flowers, little bouquets. Is that a lot?
400.
Sushi, ahi tuna.
For one-to-one loan solutions, call us. Bank 1-to-1.
Feel the power power of Dallas Cowboys football. Time is running out, so don't miss your chance for the best seats at Texas Stadium by purchasing a special teams package. Each preseason ticket allows you to buy an equal number of regular season tickets. You'll also have first chance at playoff tickets before they go on sale to the general public. So lock into the future of America's team and feel the power of Dallas Cowboys football. For more information, call Ticketmaster at 214-373-8000 today.
El Paso Juarez is the world's largest international community. Nestled between the southernmost tip of the Rocky Mountains and the northernmost tip of Mexico's Sierra Madres, the region is home to 2 million people separated only by the Rio Grande. Site of a centuries-old trade route, the area is rapidly emerging as the true gateway for U.S.-Mexican trade. So come enjoy our unique blending of border culture where 2 countries and 3 states meet. El Paso Juarez, the international experience.
Welcome back to the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Cowboys and Chargers in some scrimmage action. The first team Dallas offense came through with a touchdown. Second team on the field right now at the San Diego 43 and a second down play and 6 to go. Wade Wilson running the Dallas offense. And Jarvis Perry, the man getting the brunt of the work from the running back spot. Rookie tight end David LaFleur made a catch right before the break. He's still in the ball game. Another rookie, Steve Cyphers, one of the tackle spots as well. There's LaFleur, 6'7", 280, led LSU in receptions last year. And the Cowboys' first-round pick this year. And in a controlled scrimmage situation like this one, the format is always just a little bit up in the air. The coaches and coordinators kind of get together right beforehand to decide it. I think we've reached halftime of the scrimmage. We'll try to find out and come back in just a moment.
Attention minor football fans. Stop by the minor football information table located in...
When you come into Home Depot, there are professionals in every department.
We have journeyman electricians.
Master plumbers.
We've got roofers.
We hire the most experienced people in the market.
You've got people in every department in our store that have come through the trades or through the pro business.
Doing what they love, doing what they know.
I cannot let you leave here not knowing how to do it correctly. We're expected to be the best.
It's not, I read a pamphlet on this and I think I know what I'm talking about. It's, I know this product and I'm going to show you how to use it.
Feel the power of Dallas Cowboys football. Time is running out, so don't miss your chance for the best seats at Texas Stadium by purchasing a special teams package. Each preseason ticket allows you to buy an equal number of regular season tickets. You'll also have first chance at playoff tickets before they go on sale to the general public. So lock into the future of America's team and feel the power of Dallas Cowboys football. For more information, call Ticketmaster at 214-373-8000 today.
Sir, yeah, a couple quick questions. Oh, sure. Why did you choose Columbia? What? The fact that they have more locations than any other healthcare provider in the country?
Well, no.
The fact that they're tracking patient outcomes to improve care. Come on, that at least played a part? Did you see their site on the internet?
Actually, I'm an electrician. I'm here for some wiring work.
Oh, that's a good reason, too.
Columbia Healthcare North Texas. Here for the Cowboys. Here for your community.
It's got comfortable seats, plenty of legroom, lots of storage, hugs curves, and handles like a dream. It's Arizona. Jeans that can take you places. Only at JCPenney.
We're back at the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Troy Aikman's first team offense. Pretty efficient as they got a touchdown on the board. A 15-play drive early on here. Michael Irvin with a reception in that drive as well. 22-yard gain. Talking with wide receivers coach Hubbard Alexander. Have about a 5 or 6 minute halftime here for the scrimmage. Emmett Smith's going to find just the right shots. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are on the field right now. And Emmett.
If you made $5 million a year, you would think you could find somebody else to take photos for you, don't you?
Seems to enjoy it. Did the same thing last year. some of the preseason games. I'd like to see how some of those turn out. Emmitt Smith not seeing action here tonight. His action will be very limited in the preseason if he sees any at all.
Well, and it's like we talked about. He came in here just hoping to leave the way he came in, which is healthy. He doesn't get a whole lot of work in any of the scrimmages or preseason games, and it's kind of the unwritten rule, even at practice in Austin, that you don't touch him.
There's Emmitt again. You saw Barry Switzer with Tony Casillas, a man that he's known a long, long time. Played for him at Oklahoma. Casillas, as you mentioned in the pregame, lots going to be expected from him. Perhaps more than originally thought, but now with the Leon Lett situation. Well, for the second straight year, the Cowboys are spending an evening in El Paso. 50,000 filled the Sun Bowl last year. We think roughly 40,000 this year at the Sun Bowl. Let's take a look at how this city of El Paso has received the Dallas Cowboys.
We may not be in the heart of Texas out here, but there's no denying where the hearts of El Paso football fans lie.
For proof that this is a Cowboy town, all you have to do is look at the big star on the mountain. Okay, seriously, while ticket sales haven't matched last year's record Sun Bowl sellout, the 30,000 El Pasoans who did buy tickets and other scrimmage merchandise are just thrilled the boys are back in town.
How special is it to have your team here?
Very special. To see Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith is very special. I bought an outfit for my little girl, a shirt for my husband, and a shirt for myself because we're going to the game tomorrow, and I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan.
And she's not the only one.
I like the Cowboys, so I think it's going to be pretty fun to have them here.
Same here, yeah.
Who are your favorite Cowboys and why?
Emmitt Smith, I think he's a great player.
I like Michael Irvin.
And the fans aren't the only ones thrilled about the Cowboys-Chargers scrimmage. So are the retailers.
Yeah, the sales on the Cowboy cards have really been great. I mean, we've been selling Emmitt's, Aikman's, Smith's. I've been having to fill this thing up like every day because they just really go out, and it's really good for our business.
Yeah, but do the Cowboys love El Paso?
I don't know too much about El Paso.
Say whatever you want about El Paso, but if it's negative, make sure you don't say it in Billy Davis's face.
Because the former Irvin Rocket is full of Sun City pride.
I'm very proud El Pasoan, and every time I get a chance, I let everybody know where I'm from.
So the love appears to be mutual.
Thanks for coming. Please come back. El Paso loves you.
And we'll ask Cowboys owner Jerry Jones about future plans in El Paso and some other things when we come back in a few minutes. Cowboys offense with 1 touchdown so far against the Chargers. Back in a moment. All right, we're back at the Sun Bowl in El Paso. 6-0 Dallas Cowboys lead it as we've reached the halfway point of this scrimmage with the San Diego Chargers, and we're back here at the Sun Bowl. I'm Mike Ducey, and Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones joins us. Been an exciting night. Little weather, big crowd, and pretty impressive drive by the first team offense.
Well, first of all, a great crowd. It's just unbelievable what happens down here. We've got over 40,000 people, and not only that, they endured some real wind and rain. But from our football team standpoint, Troy really threw the ball well in the wind and rain when we were doing our early drills. We were real pleased to see that. But boy, what an enthusiastic place, and really inspires our team. Our policy this year is not to travel. We're going to be there. We want to emphasize camp. But the one place that we really wanted to go, because it is an inspiration, is El Paso, and get to be a part of our fans down here. When I was visiting with Troy in the off-season, he said this was a lift. This was a big plus, so that's why we're here.
I know the folks in El Paso want to know if this will be happening again next year. Have you given that much thought?
We have not really decided how we would do it, but certainly everything I'm seeing here would encourage us to continue to have a presence down here. This year we're focused in Austin. It wouldn't have been a good year for us to do anything training camp-wise apart down here. But in the future, we might do that. A lot of people say, well, you have to stay at home, and we're doing that this year. But we won 3 Super Bowls traveling all over the world with a lot of travel dates. But this team, it calls for us to be at home and really emphasize our conditioning and be as physical as we can and concentrate on football.
Well, this is the first in a series of practice scrimmage situations that you'll have with another team. Chargers tonight, Raiders next week in Austin. That adds a little spice to things.
Yeah, Al Davis and the Raiders come in Tuesday. They've got a brand new quarterback in Jeff George, a great new first-round draft pick, defensive tackle Russell. So, frankly, we're anxious to see what they are. They're a very talented team, and we've really gotten a lot of work and productive work when we've worked two-a-days against the Raiders over the last several years. And it's a happening there. I'd like to invite everybody that can to be there, because several thousand fans sitting around 180 some odd ball players out there in the dog days of August. July.
Jerry, you've got a special guest I think you wanted to introduce here.
Yes, but the main reason is because Rick Bosch, the president of El Paso Natural Gas, has sponsored. They're the top sponsor for what we're doing down here. And Rick, I want to thank you on behalf of the Cowboys and our Cowboy fans. El Paso Natural Gas, of course, is one of the premier companies in the country, but just thank you for all you've done to make this possible.
Oh, thank you, Jerry, and I want to thank everyone who was involved in helping to put this thing together. This has been a wonderful event for the city of El Paso. El Paso Natural Gas Company couldn't be more happy to be involved, to be a partner with the Dallas Cowboys. That's first-class outfit.
You know, I wish everyone could really get to be on the inside a little bit and see what it takes to make this kind of crowd happen when a game is sold off of your ticket. In the NFL, you very seldom see a preseason game that's not sold along with along with the regular ticket. The effort and the support that your company, El Paso Natural Gas, and people at companies like Columbia Hospitals, companies like that, Southwestern Bell. But boy, there's an infrastructure of energy here in El Paso that's unbelievable, and it worked with Juarez across the way. This is a neat area.
Well, they love you here.
Great. Well, thank you again from everyone.
All right, Jerry, just briefly, as the teams get back on the field now, some things that were interesting in the first half. LaFleur got his hands on the football for the first time. Stepfret Williams had a chance to get in on the action. That's what it's all about on nights like tonight, to see the young guys in action, right?
Yeah, and I think you probably noticed number 19, Macy Brooks.
Right.
He's our fourth-round draft pick, and Macy has got outstanding skills when it comes to catching the ball, and our quarterbacks have a lot of confidence in him, but he is 6'5", weighs about 220 pounds. We want him down to 210, but he's having a good night out there, too. But I know our fans said shades of Jay Novacek when they saw us moving that ball on third down with short passes to Bjornson and LaFleur, and that's what it's all about this year. It didn't hurt to have that Michael Irvin going down on that sideline and catching it either, did it?
I know Barry Switzer said he's as impressed with Bjornson as with anybody in this camp. He's a little lighter, the ankles are feeling better, and he's expecting big things out of him.
Yeah, Eric Bjornson is the player. You know, I've had our coaches tell me that not use the word good, but potentially great. It's unfortunate that he's been limited like he was last year when he did have a chance to step in for Jay Novacek. But, you know, the real story, one of the big stories of our camp is Eric Bjornson and Eric Williams. We're seeing Eric Williams go down and chase fast linebackers in training camp and chase them down, and that hadn't happened with Eric Williams in 2 or 3 years. So if we get him and Larry Allen on that side of the line, then we'll be able to punch it in the way we did down there.
All right, Jerry, well, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it, and enjoy the second half. I think we're about ready to get things started with football here.
Thank you, Mike. It's just great to be a part of a real happening. You know, again, what they say down here most of the time is Vaqueros de Dallas.
All right, Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner and general manager, joining us here from the Sun Bowl in El Paso, where the Cowboys' first-team offense got a touchdown on the board. First-team defense of the Cowboys held the Charger first-team offense scoreless through a 12-play series. So, 6-0 in this scrimmage action at the Sun Bowl in El Paso, and we're back in a moment. In El Paso, where it's reserved parking, Cowboys fans only. Haven't seen many Chargers fans here. The Sun Bowl. About 40,000 strong, in the second half of this scrimmage is underway with the Cowboys up 6-0. I'm Mike Ducey along with Babe Laufenberg. And the second-team Charger offense still led by Jim Everett in trying to move it against the likes of Kavika Pittman, Darren Benson, Shante Carver still in the ball game along the front line for the Dallas Cowboys. So a mixture of first and second teamers for Dallas. Here's Everett to Fletcher. Nice open field tackle by Charlie Williams.
That's a screen pass, Mike, but they forgot to release the lineman to get out into it. And usually that doesn't work too well. Charlie Williams does a nice job there. Charlie Williams is a guy that's going to have to be counted on this year again in nickel. Remember, George Teague played in the nickel defense last year, did a great job for him, but he went off to bigger and better things. Charlie Williams missed the first half of last season with a knee injury. He'll be back, and they're also looking to replace Jim Schwantz. Remember, he was the nickel linebacker, as was Darren Smith when they went into that 45. So a couple of spots up for grabs in that nickel defense, and it's maybe the most important defensive set of series that you have now, because third down so important to come out and obviously prevent the other team from getting a fresh set of downs. And the Cowboys have been very good at that in the past. Dave Campo, the defensive coordinator, has his work cut out for him this year.
Cowboy offense takes over now again with Wade Wilson leading them to the line at the 30. Bo Morgan, the tailback for the Cowboys. Mr. Morgan gets the handoff and goes practically nowhere. Don Sasa makes the stop. Mentioned Morgan's interesting story earlier, as he's got a military commitment coming up, but says he's just having an incredible experience at Dallas Cowboys training camp.
Yeah, he's a guy that, I don't know, he saved up his leave. He told me he saved up his leave to come to camp this year. As he's going to do, he intends to come to Cowboys camp again next year. Gets 30 days leave next year. He plans on saving that up so he can extend his training camp. Now, how many guys would take the vacation to come out here knowing that you've got no opportunity to make the football team?
Interesting way to spend your vacation, huh? Here's Wade Wilson in some trouble. That would have been a sack. Quarterbacks are not allowed to be tackled in this controlled scrimmage. Back at the 25, the play was made.
I don't think he's married, but if he is, I suggest, that he doesn't tell his wife, well, I'm trying to save up all my vacation days so I can go to Austin for a month.
Bo Morgan, a native Texan, presumably a Cowboy fan as he was growing up and getting a chance to practice with the team he used to root for right now. What a career Morgan had. Yes. At Air Force.
One thing he was an option quarterback there, of course, and Barry Switzer, of course, loves those option quarterbacks, but he set a Division I record, 1A record for rushing for a quarterback with 1,498 yards last year. So quite a successful collegiate player. You wonder if he's got a position in the NFL. He's only 5'10", about 185, 190. Certainly has the desire, but he may be one of those guys. They played him a little bit in the secondary during mini camps. Had him at safety, had him at corner. Now they've got him at running back, and his fear is he bounces around so much that he never actually learns a position.
Cowboys line it up again with Brooks wide left, Billy Davis wide right, and Stepford Williams in the slot left. Morgan and LaFleur in the backfield. Here's Wade Wilson. Over the middle, complete to Bo Morgan. Breaks the tackle 30, 35, 40, and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Bo Morgan driven out of bounds by Willie Clark. First down, Cowboys.
As I mentioned, Bo Morgan goes back to the military academy August 4th, which coincidentally is his birthday. So I don't know if that's a prize or not. But Bo Morgan just sneaks up underneath, does a nice job of eluding the defender, gets a block downfield from David LaFleur, picks up a nice gain. I really hope they play this guy, Mike, next week against the Raiders. Sunday night he plays. Monday he goes back to the military academy. Wouldn't it be great to take a couple of memories with you?
26-yard gain for Morgan and the Cowboys. You now have the football at the 45-yard line. Dallas up 6-0 in this scrimmage. Wilson hands off to Morgan again. Falls forward for perhaps 3 yards.
Chargers revamping, of course, this year, Mike. Bobby Ross off to Detroit. Kevin Gilbride, who was the offensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars the last 2 years and really had a big part in Mark Brunell's development. He becomes the Chargers head coach. And talked to the Chargers assistant general manager, Billy Devaney, before the scrimmage tonight. And I said, I guess you're hoping you guys start out 0-4. And he said, well, we're going to be better than that. And I said, well, but Bobby Beathard in the past has picked the assistants. Joe Gibbs started out 0-5 in Washington. They wanted to can him there. Bobby Ross started out 0-4 his first year in San Diego. They wanted to can him there. So I'm not so sure that it doesn't work out better.
Morgan again in the Chargers territory. Of course, San Diego, a franchise that's had a lot of success getting into the Super Bowl 3 years ago. But Bobby Ross in Detroit now, and Gilbride gets a shot at a head coaching job. This reminder for you, a special teams package is available from the Dallas Cowboys called Ticketmaster at 214-373-8000. That's 214-373-8000.
Mike, after this play, I want to get back to that Super Bowl. You talked about Bobby Ross took him there 3 years ago. They struggled last year, got to 8-8.
Clay Shiver is the Cowboys center now. They'll snap it to Wilson with Morgan, the lone setback. Wade completes to Billy Davis out of El Paso Urban High School to the 42 and a first down for the Cowboys.
Nice pickup by Billy Davis on the slant route there. Getting back to Bobby Rosso as well. Let's take a look here at Billy Davis first here. He comes up, he's just going to get a little slant route on. See, the one good thing he does there, he gets into the defender. Gets into the defender and then uses his hands to push away. Provided you don't use a big push, it's okay. But anyway, Kelvin Gilbride, as I mentioned, taking over for Bobby Ross. What often happens, Bobby Ross wanted to come in and be a little more involved in personnel. When he went to the Chargers, they knew Bobby Beathard gets the players and you coach them, much like New York. But Bobby Ross then wanted a little more power in the personnel department, takes off for Detroit. He actually was ready to leave last year, stuck around, and they had a 8-8 season.
Here's Wilson. Incomplete. Stepfret Williams. As the Cowboys go deep, Williams, the intended receiver. Let's take a look again at what happened as Wilson unloaded it.
Well, and Wade knows he wanted to hit him. Stepfret certainly wanted to catch it. Just a straight fly pattern. Stepfret got his fingertips on the ball. Now, that's one thing about Stepfret Williams, too. He's not a burner. If that's Anthony Miller, he's going to run underneath that football. But you know that as a quarterback, too. You know you don't have quite the speed guy out there, but does a great job getting on top of the defender. He's got him beat. Wade Wilson just has to put that ball out there. He makes a good effort for it.
He had beaten Willie Clark by a couple of steps, but they couldn't make the connection. Bo Morgan for a couple of yards down to the 42. The Cowboys' drive will continue as this scrimmage continues from the Sun Bowl in El Paso after these words from
This scrimmage was brought to you by
Boys offense at work at the Charger 30-yard line, and Dallas up 6-0 as the clock moves here in the third quarter of this scrimmage, babe.
But one guy you want to take a look at, I think, tonight, well, I should say as a group, is the wide receivers, and they've done a nice job. All the young guys have caught balls. As a matter of fact, I think the only drop has been by Michael Irvin on the post, and that one you can be correct. Make that 2 drops.
Wilson lost the handle. Cowboys keep it. Well, that's the kind of thing as a coach you just hate to see happen in a scrimmage like this, because guys tend to get hurt going after fumbles, but apparently everybody's okay there. And the 17-year veteran Wade Wilson is frustrated as he leaves the field. All right, time now for the Acme Brick play of the night. And the Cowboys culminated a nice drive to start the action here against the first-team San Diego defense. Herschel Walker, who got most of the action on the ground during the drive, waltzed into the end zone untouched. Herschel Walker with the touchdown for the Cowboys and the Acme Brick play of the night. Back to live action where flags are flying, and 40,000 in El Paso continuing to enjoy the scrimmage action here. Richie Cunningham was on. Richie Cunningham, we'll take a look as it happened during our Acme Brick play of the night. Richie Cunningham going for that kicking spot along with Danny Kite, and there's the penalty, obviously, after the kick. But Cunningham gets an early edge with the field goal.
Well, and you like to see that. You like to see your kicker hit one through while he's getting hit. And Richie Cunningham probably has the edge right now in the kicking game over Danny Kite. Not just because of that kick, but he is a guy I think they would like to see make this football team.
Cunningham was beaten out by Chris Boniel a couple of summers ago. Most likely the front runner for the position now. Jim Everett airs it out for the Chargers, coming back the other way. So, babe, as we get things set to wrap things up here in a few moments, and about 30 seconds here to wrap up just a few of the highlights as the Cowboy first-team offense got it done. First-team defense against the San Diego offense. So, all in all, I guess they saw what they needed to.
Well, defense did a nice job, and I think once again they're looking for receivers, and Billy Davis, Stepfret Williams, and Macy Brooks all really had pretty good nights tonight.
Herschel Walker with a touchdown. Richie Cunningham and a field goal. Cowboys 9-0 over San Diego. Good night from the Sun Bowl in El Paso.